Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first West Coast Trail 2026 Debrief Sessions live event. I'm Mike Blake, an MB Guiding, your Vancouver Island hiking guide. We're streaming to you on YouTube and Facebook Live from the Sandwich Peninsula on southern Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia. Say hello in the chat, in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We're going to take a minute or two to make sure the live stream is running smoothly and see who shows up in the chat and comments. Hey, welcome back, folks. Hey, Carlene from West Kelowna on Facebook. Welcome. Hey, Bruce from Victoria on Facebook. Welcome. Hey, Colin. Welcome on Facebook. Hey, Clinton from Red Deer on Facebook. Welcome. Marlene from Brantford. Welcome. Hey, Mickey from Cobble Hill on Facebook. Welcome. Kurt from Regina. Welcome. Hey, Bruce on YouTube from Victoria, welcome. Hey, Julia, welcome back from Creston on Facebook. Tanya on Facebook from Kamloops. Hey, hey, hey. Hi, Jennifer, welcome. Hi, Carrie on Facebook. Jacqueline, Jennifer, Suzanne and Whitehorse. Welcome, everyone. Angela and Red Deer. Awesome. Sarah in Seattle on Facebook. We've got Bruce on YouTube. Esbatch, welcome everyone. Looks like we've got 32 so far. So share this out, share the feed out. If anyone wants to know about what we did on the trail this week, pass it around. Right on. Well, it seems like things are going. We got sound, we got video, all good so far. So thanks so much for joining us. It was the West Coast Trail season opener this week, and it was an all-time epic. We hiked the trail May 1st to 5th and enjoyed midsummer-like hot, sunny weather for the first few days. Super dry and tacky route conditions, unlike any other trip I've ever been on the West Coast Trail. Low hiker traffic, including in the campsites. Incredible wildlife viewing, and a cool finish when we got under the marine layer the last couple of days. So 10 out of 10 trip. During this live stream, we're going to share our trip report and lots of pro tips to boost your chances of completing the West Coast Trail in a fun, safe, and rewarding way. Plus, you'll want to stick around for the interactive Q&A session at halftime, and we'll share the instructions to enter the fun prize giveaway towards the end of the live stream. So first, we're going to do the live trip report, then we're going to do the Q&A, and then we're going to do the prize giveaway. So you got to stick around if you want to get in on the prize giveaway. Hey, Mountain Mama Hikes on YouTube, welcome back. Yeah, we got lots of good news from the trail for sure. Lots of good news. Okay, let's just do a quick intro for those that are new here, and then we'll get into our debrief session. So I'm Mike Blake, an Association Canadian Mountain Guide certified hiking guide living and working on Vancouver Island. You may know me through our MB Guiding website and blog, or maybe you've heard about our guided trips and workshops before. I've been backpacking for around 45 years and guiding for over 20 of them. I specialize in outdoor education, instructing hiking and backpacking skills like trip planning, wilderness navigation, and risk management. I'm also a wildlife viewing guide and member of the Commercial Bear Viewing Association of British Columbia and a group management instructor for the Interpretive Guides Association. Head on over to mbguiding.ca and you can see more about what we do there. So mbguiding.ca, click on the About page and then scroll down. My partner Lara and I started MB Guiding together in 2014. Wow, so it's been 12 years. Lara's a big part of MB Guiding as she's the creative writer behind all of our online content. She also holds the record for participating in the most MB Guiding trips and workshops, and she just added to the record again this week. So this is usually when I say Lara's hanging out in the chat too, helping us moderate today. But guess what? We've got a very special guest. Surprise guest. So you can all welcome Lara and say hi to her right here. Hey, hey, Lara, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So where are you located right now?
2 floors above you.
Okay, great. So
I'm
I'm in the
supposed to
downstairs
be on
office.
vacation this week, but I'm in the office, so there you go.
Yep, the best sound and light production upstairs.
Yeah.
That's great. So I'm downstairs in the MB Guiding office, and Lara's upstairs in her office. So we're gonna do this tandem from the same dwelling, but on different floors, using this technology that we got here called Zoom and Ecamm Live, streaming out to YouTube and Facebook. Oh, what do you think, Lara? Do you think we should tell them about the giveaway now? Give them some teasers.
Yes.
Right on. Julia's saying hi, yay, yay. Hey, right on. Chris from Langley just showed up. Welcome. Okay, let's tell them about the prize packages. So we've got 3 awesome prize packages today. We've got a copy of the 10th edition Blisters and Bliss Trekker's Guide to the West Coast Trail, co-authored and signed by West Coast Trail legend Wayne Aiken, right there. We've also got a West Coast Trail App 2026 Pro Pass for each of the 3 winners, donated by creator and developer Brett Marl. We've also got West Coast Trail Slug Patch and Sticker Pack designed by Valerie Burton and the late Jesse Benton. Plus, sign to add in a one-to-one personalized coaching session for each of the winners to help you plan a trip like a pro. So these are just like the coaching sessions that our clients pay for when they join a guided trip, and you're going to get one of those as well. Now we've got something extra special. If you're watching us on our new YouTube channel, there's going to be a special bonus prize giveaway. And this time for a West Coast Trail Slug t-shirt from the Kindred Coast West Coast Trail collection, designed by Valerie Burton and Kindred Coast. So that's for the YouTube viewers. If you haven't checked out our new YouTube channel, you can find us on YouTube at Mike Blake. Let's show you that. So youtube.com at Mike Blake, and you'll see all of our live streams there, the replays. And there's a playlist where you can watch them all there as well. So go check that out. All right, so that's the prizes. If you want to win one of the prize packages, you got to hang out with us and be sure to participate in the chat and comments, and I'll share more details on how to win the giveaway towards the end of the live stream. Let's see who else we have here now. So it looks like we've got 31 on Facebook, and we've got 5 on YouTube. So we got 36 viewers. That's pretty good. Let's keep it going. Right on, folks. Okay, well, we are going to get into the trip report. So I've got a special guest here. So you're going to get 2 perspectives on our trip. So we're going to just start off doing a demo of where we were, where we went, the days we went. So we'll look at the route plan, and then I'll ask some questions of the audience, and also we're going to ask questions from our special guest. So hold your questions till about halftime, and then we'll get into the Q&A for you all. So if you want to ask us questions, that's going to be after we do the first section here. So hold those questions. We got Nick Short wants the shirt. Yeah, right on. And you're on YouTube, so you're in the right spot. Yeah, so if you're looking for our YouTube channel, folks, it's youtube.com at Mike Blake. It's a new YouTube channel, and we've got 131 subscribers. So we're working our way up. We got a long way to go to catch up to the Outdoor Boys and Mr. Beast. Well, a lot longer to get there. But yeah, give us a thumbs up and go check out our YouTube channel. And you can follow our live streams there. And the thing that we switched to YouTube for, the reason was because Facebook decided in a while ago, I can't remember how many months now, but it's been a while, that they were only going to save our live stream replays for 30 days and then they delete them from the app. So YouTube turns them into videos and they stay there indefinitely. So that's where you're going to find our archive of live streams moving forward. So yeah, if you want to win a shirt, hang out. We'll let you know how to do it at the end of the chat. Hey, CC Cameron, welcome on YouTube. Hey, Steph from Langley on Facebook, right on, welcome. Mandy on Facebook from Port Alberni, welcome everyone. Yeah, so this is going to be fun. Let's do the debrief, Lara. What do you think?
Let's go.
Okay, so let's start off with, let's do the Instagram. That's where we put our trip report. So we'll start there. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen out. So this is our Instagram channel. If you haven't got on there, you got to go check it out. Instagram at MB Guiding is the handle. And as we were on the trail, we uploaded all of our trip reports daily. So you can see our trip reports. And I tried a new style there. So they're in Reels. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can run this through the stories here. And then if you click on the story, it'll show a link to the reel.
Big group today.
And there's the audio. Wow.
West Coast Trail 2026. Here we go.
So this is the start
Heading
of
to
the
the Gordon River
Gordon River.
Ferry.
Click on the bottom and you can see our entire trip
Big group
report. I'm
today.
writing these up now like I do for my professional log.
West
So you're
Coast
getting
Trail
all the stats
2026.
I'm using on
Here
my
we
log.
go.
Start
Heading to the
times,
Gordon
finish
River
times, weather forecast, weather
Ferry.
odds, the log in detail, route conditions,
Big group
wildlife
today.
viewing, all sorts of goodies in there. And I
West Coast Trail 2026.
built them up as we went, so each day was different. This was a fun one. That's going up the Coolite ladder system on day 2. Then we've got going across Nitnat on day 3. Fording Klanawa and avoiding the cable car on day 4. We'll talk about the cable cars. And then one of our bear viewings on day 5 on the way out. So yeah, just go check that out. There's that's the best way to see our trip reports right now before they get put on our blog. So from the field, we're doing it live. We're adding on to Facebook and Instagram at the same time, and I do that in the evening of each day. So you get live from the field trip reports. Okay, so let's talk about our trip, Lara. Let's look at day 1 here. I'm gonna go
Yes.
over here. And now I'm gonna ask you some questions about this. So, what did you think, first of all, about the plan here, as far as doing the trip in 4 nights, 5 days versus the last time you did the trip? Tell us about tell us how many times you've done the trail. Tell us about your last trip on the trail and how this itinerary sounded at first.
Yeah, sure. So this was my 6th time on the West Coast Trail, and this was the least number of days that I did it in. So I've done the trail in the first time was in 6 days, and then I did it in 8, and then a couple times on the traditional 7-day itinerary. So this was the a 5-day itinerary, so faster than I've ever done it. So I was pretty proud of that. And so I guess I would say a different itinerary gives you a different feeling, obviously, to the entire trip. And you hit certain points at different times of maybe you're more tired one year, but you're hitting it in a different time of your day and you're more fresh. So it just was a completely different trip, to be honest. And I was excited about it because it was a challenge for me personally to do it in 5 days. So I found it that kind of excitement about it.
Yeah, so we've pushed it a bit, folks. So usually when we do a guided trip, it's over 6 nights, 7 days. That's traditional for our guided trips. When I do it solo recon, which I've done May 1st to 4th for the last 3 years, so 23, 24, and 25, I do it in 3 nights. So I do it in half the time. So we're doing twice the distance in the same amount of time. The reason is that because I'm doing it solo, I can move faster. It's just moving with a group is much slower. And then when you move with a guided group, it's even slower because we stop a lot more to look at things. So we're interpreting a lot of things out there. So like the wildlife, history, geography, everything that we can think of as we see it. So yeah, a trip with a guided group takes 6 nights, 7 days. A trip with me solo takes 3 nights, 4 days. However, it was Lara's vacation, so we
Yeah.
decided that let's go easy on her and like
Thank
let's
you.
do
A
four
gift of
nights
one
and
extra
five
day.
days.
Yeah.
We got one extra day out of it. The
Okay.
reason being also is because we'd never hiked the trail in 4 nights, 5 days either. I've done it in 3 nights, 4 days. I've done it in 5 nights, 6 days, 7 nights, 8 days, 6 nights, 7 days. So I've done all of those combos, and I never done it this length. So we wanted to see how it worked out with campsites, how the daily kilometers went. Which is, let's get into it. We're looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
perfect segue. So this is day 1 here. This is our starts. Where did we start from, Lara?
Gordon River.
Yeah, so at the south end. So we drove from Victoria. We live in Victoria. So we drove from Victoria to the south end.
Yeah.
And we parked at the Gordon River Trailhead. So the Pachina Bay, or sorry, the Pichadat Campground. We ended
Yeah.
at Pachina Bay. We started at Pichadat Campground. And
Yeah.
then we met up with Parks Canada, did our check in at around 9 a.m. The orientation started promptly at 10 a.m. And then we were out of there pretty quick, even with a full house. So the trail was booked day 1 and 2, so May 1st and 2nd from both ends. So
Yeah.
we were starting with about 24 people. I think only one person didn't show up out of the full
Yeah.
house there, right?
Yeah. And I will add, they really do want you to watch that video ahead of time. Um, so you can watch it at home, the information video, or you can come show up early and they can show you a rendition of it when you're there. But at 10 o'clock's the meeting, and that's when you got to be ready to get your permit and go. So I would say, yeah, they want you to watch that video.
Yeah, watch the video before you get to the
Yeah.
place, because then when they ask you if you watch the video, you can say
Yeah.
yes versus no, and then they'll make you watch it there.
Yeah.
So it's better to watch in advance.
Yes.
So starting the south end is definitely a more challenging start as far as energy output goes. So
Yeah.
it's the harder end of the trail. It's more technical hiking versus the north end out of Pachina, which is where we ended. So we opted on this trip just for logistics. It just made a lot more sense for us living in Victoria, and we wanted to drive the trailhead to leave our car at Gordon River, hike up to the north end at Pachina Bay, get the shuttle back to Gordon River, and it all worked out perfectly. So that's what we did. So day 1, we hiked from Gordon River Trailhead. So we took the ferry across, and then we went up the first ladder, which is a doozy. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend looking at it before you get there. So you're not seeing it for the first time at the beach. Look at a picture, because it's a vertical ladder and it's, moderate height. It's not the highest on the trail, but it's high enough to give you the heebie-jeebies if you haven't practiced on ladders with your full pack. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. You're starting with your full pack weight on that first step. Your first step on the West Coast Trail, so you step off the beach, it's like 5 steps, and then you're on the ladder. So that's something to think about. What'd you think of that first ladder now, seeing it, 6 times? Or that was your
Yeah,
sixth time?
I've definitely you get more desensitized to it if you've done it this many times, I will say that. And I'm just generally speaking to, I knew my pack weight was better this trip. So the last I did it in September 2025, so kind of recently, and it was a 7-day trip, and my pack it felt a lot heavier. It was a lot heavier if we look at the the weights. So this one was lighter, and I could even tell, like that first ladder, you can really tell if your pack is light and comfortably light in a way, because it will pull you off the ladder almost like that full pack. And I could feel this time, Mike, that when I went up that first ladder, it was like, oh, I don't feel like it's pulling me off. Like it was a much more manageable weight to start. So
Yeah,
important, right? Because
absolutely. So there's
yeah,
no doubt about it that lighter is better on this trail, especially starting on the more technical end with more elevation gains with your full pack weight. So the lighter the pack, the better. And the nice thing about doing these shorter, more compact trips is that we're going shorter nights, so less nights. That means we carry less food, which
yeah,
significantly decreases our pack weight. Plus, the other factor on this particular trip was the weather forecast going in was unbelievable. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was looking at the forecast a few days out, which is when you're going to get the most accurate forecast, and it's heat wave, mid July, mid August temperatures, but it had already been dry week plus before. So when we got our first steps on the trail above that first ladder, it was dust, and we hardly saw any mud except in the most muddiest spots of the trail where the mud never dries out. And I would say that this trip, it was the driest I've ever hiked on the West Coast Trail. I've been hiking it since 2015, and it was the driest. Now that's scary for the environment. It's amazing for hiking, but yeah, unfortunately, the plants and animals weren't as happy as they could have been. So we definitely need rain out there. And as you know, folks, if you haven't heard or if you don't know, there's a fire ban's in place as of yesterday. So that's it. There's no fires on the West Coast Trail anymore. So let's go through the days here. So this is day 1. The durations are bang on. So I start my watch as soon as we walk out of camp, and I stop it as soon as we walk into camp. The distances are exaggerated, but because we're moving faster through the terrain, they're exaggerated less than when we walk slower. There's an inherent error in GPS, especially when you're using consumer grade products, devices like watches and Garmin handhelds and things like that. You're not going to get accurate distances, especially when you're going in deep forest and canyons, which is what the rainforest and the creek drainages of the West Coast Trail are. So these distances are over a bit. I'd say on average 10 to 20% in the forest, and then it goes way down on the beaches. You get really accurate distances on the beaches because there's no interference from above. You're getting direct satellite view. But our durations are bang on, and these were long days. They are like we were out on the trail,
Yep.
especially that first day, because it was a full house, two boats. So we
Yep.
were on the second boat. We got started after 11,
Yep.
and we were on the trail for 8.5 hours, just over.
Yep. It was a long day for sure. And we decided to, so we're going right from Gordon River to Camper. It was our plan the whole time, but not the Owen Point route. So we've done that before. We didn't need to do it again this trip. So we just went straight through the forest, all the way to Camper Bay. And it was it was a long day, right? Day one, it was, I was tired, I'm not gonna lie. At the end of that day, we rolled in. There's only two other guys at camp when we got there, so that's the situation, right? When you go early season, there's like we had our pick of the campsites at
Yeah,
Camper.
folks got spread out really quick. So there was a big starting group, but there was a couple of real eager hikers, some that were doing the trail in 2 nights, and they were gone. We never saw them again. I saw their trip report like, halfway through our trip. They'd already come off the trail. There was another really fast hiker that came in behind us on day two, and he was yo-yoing the trail. And he was so fast, he didn't even talk the first time we saw him. The second time, he actually stopped to talk to us because I'm always curious, like, where are you going and what are you doing and how are you doing it? And he was ultralight style, so like super light pack, like Brett Marl style, like probably like 8 pound base weight. And he was doing a full yo-yo, so end to end, Gordon River to Pachina Bay, and all the way back to Gordon in probably I'm thinking he did it in 3 nights. I haven't got the report yet. But when we saw him the second time, we were just getting to Susiat and he had already gone to the other end and come back. So that was on our day 3. So he was maybe going to do one more night. Maybe he did 3 nights, or I don't think he did 4 nights. And that was a yo-yo. And I was like,
Yeah.
did you resupply? And he's like, nope. So he did a full yo-yo, or he was attempting it. We haven't heard the result yet, with no resupply. So that means he was carrying everything from end to end to end. So that's something that I'd never heard before. Usually when people do a yo-yo, they set a cache up either at the crab shack or at the other end, but this was a non resupply. So that was pretty cool. Pretty crazy, cooler than crazy, or whatever you want, however you want to think about it. It was pretty, it
Yeah.
made me feel old and slow, but that's
It was
okay.
pretty intense.
It was intense. Yeah. So
We're
this was
like,
day 1, and you can see our ascent. These are pretty accurate. The ascents here and descent, and they're almost the same
yeah.
because we start and finish at sea level. Um, you can
And I'm
see it's
using an
about
app. I use an
650.
Apple Watch just so everybody knows. So my distances is even more off. Like it just, I don't know, that device doesn't seem as ruggedized out there. The GPS adds a lot of kilometers. So obviously my duration matched up, but yeah, the other stuff on an Apple Watch isn't quite as good.
Yeah, you're a bit more exaggerated with your distances and your elevations,
Yeah.
but not that much. Like they're pretty close. But these ascent and descent numbers are quite close to the actual. So this is a big day as far as elevation. You go up to the highest point on the trail eventually on that first day, and so the total was 650 meters plus the kilometers. It was so it's 13 kilometers. So I mean that's where that percentage, that's pretty tight, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that result there as far as what the watch was telling me, because it's measured at 13, so that's pretty good. Let's get to the next day.
Yeah.
So that was May 1st. Day 2, so we finished at Camper. So we skipped Owen, went straight to Camper. So all
Yeah.
inland. The trail was immaculate. Like the work that's been done this season is beyond what I've seen in any previous season, just as far as preseason prep goes. So there
Mm-hmm.
was no wind throw on the trail. There was a couple of like odd sticks in here and there, but there was, where we were off in the inland section between Thrasher Junction and Camper, there was only a couple spots from previous years where the bridges are destroyed and need to be like flown in new metal bridges and massive project, where you have to do a workaround, and it's got an alley built for you. And there's a bit of navigating over some tougher kind of like over bushy trees and things, but nothing too bad. That inland trail though is one of my favorites. So moving on though, we did a even bigger day on day 2. So tell us about day 2.
So day 2 has the famous ladder systems, of course. So starting at camper, your first job of the morning is to get out of Camper Bay. So up the ladders we go, and a lot of inland, right? So then there's the I'm trying to think what comes first. There's sandstone ladder system, which we always forget about that one. It's like, oh yeah, sandstone. And then there's Coolite, which is quite tall. That's a very tall system. Takes a while to get through there, but it's a nice break at the bottom, which was great. Didn't have to take the cable car. We could walk right across Coolite. And then of course there's the suspension bridge now, which is fabulous to get across Logan, whereas that took a long time and the ladders were kind of scary, but now you just breeze across on this beautiful suspension bridge. So that was great. And then we ended up camping at Carmana. That's where we wanted to go. We thought, okay, maybe Benilla, maybe Carmana. And we got to Benilla, and there was a kind of groups coalescing there. And we thought, it was the good light still. We had some energy. We're on the beach now, and we're like, can we go a bit further? And then we had a little meeting. And then we're like, yes, let's keep going. And we're glad we did, because Carmana is a fabulous campsite. It's not on the usual itinerary, right, all the time. So that's the thing, when you do a different itinerary, you can sample different camps. And camper was fabulous, beautiful night. We walked across the river, no problem, no big Ford, no cable car, and set up in a beautiful sandy campsite. And there was only 3 other fellows there who we were kind of going along with. So that was it. That was a pretty good campsite, I would say, and a pretty good day. But I was tired again, of course, but
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
it was, you
tired.
can
I'm not gonna
see
lie.
it's a 10-hour day, and we're starting, we've got a bit later starts with our timing and tides and just our sleep schedule and things the first couple of days. So we're starting, later than usual. I usually start with the guided trips 8 a.m., but we're starting on this day was, 10 a.m. start. The first day was 11 a.m. start because we had the boat at 10:30 and we were on the second one. So yeah,
Oh, and I
let's
think, sorry,
add
we
on
should
the
go
10
back though,
hours.
because we're talking about Walbrand. We should talk about Walbrand, because we wanted to hit the tide correct at
Oh yeah.
Walbrand, right? Which is why we waited.
Yeah.
That's why we got up a bit later. We thought, okay, let's have a bit more rest time in the morning.
This shows it right here where you're
Yes.
talking
And we're
about. You can
like,
see us walking around here at
yeah, because we knew the
Walbrand.
tide was going to be lower later. So we're like, there's no point in rushing to Walbrand. So we said, okay, let's have some more relaxing time in the morning and recover, and then let's get to Walbrand. But when we got to Walbrand, tide was going out, but it was still very swollen and very deep, and just not what we wanted to deal with we couldn't afford it at that
No,
point.
it
And we didn't
was
want to
not
wait.
fordable.
No.
The tide was at 2.5 meters approximately. So, but it was going out, but it was going to take 3 hours to get like down to 1.7. But the big problem was there was a meter swell coming right in up the deep channel. So you add that all up and you got a pretty deep ford. And one of the guys that we were hiking with, he actually forded it on his own, and he was chest deep, and he was, an average height fella with pack over top, and we didn't want to do that. So we ended up taking the
Oh my
cable car,
God.
which I've had
Yep.
a few discussions now with Parks Canada about. The Wallbrand cable car, just so you know, folks, is really stiff this year. And there's hopefully the asset team management, the infrastructure folks are going to get out there and try to do something about it. But if you can avoid the cable car, I highly recommend it. So time
Yeah.
Wallbrand for a low tide, or stay there. Like we went past it, stay overnight and get the early morning low tide. Hopefully it all lines up. Skip that
Yeah.
cable car if you
It
can, because
was
it was
brutal.
brutal. It took us 25
And
minutes to
I
go
didn't even do
across.
much of the pulling. So we both went in, and I was like back towards where we're going and across the north side, and Mike's the one doing most of the pulling.
It
And
was tough.
I was trying to help, but come on, like it was very, very difficult. It took us like, I don't know, 20 minutes to cross the river.
Yeah, it was a long haul. So skip the
Yeah.
cable cars if you can. I mean, if you've never done a cable car, pick one of the small ones at the beginning, Camper or Coolite, and then skip Wallbrand, Clonawa, Carmana, Clonawa. That's the order they're in. Okay, so let's carry on. Let's get to now we're at Carmana, which was awesome. Highly
Yeah.
recommend that campsite if you can fit it into your itinerary. It's my favorite. It's just the best beach. It's beautiful. You got the view of the old light station that is still functioning. It's just nobody's there. It's all automated, but you got the light. And we checked out Nitom, which was closed that day, but things are opening. But let's get to next day. We got to get
Yep,
on to day
day 3.
3.
Okay, so day 3, starting off at Carmana, and we weren't totally sure of our campsite that night, maybe Susiat, right? So we just kept kind of hiking. We found day 3 a little more challenging because of the weather that day. There was no cloud cover, so it was kind of a hot, sunny day, and quite a bit of beach. And we're in that or the Nit Nat zone, the Clues zone, and it was another long day. And I just was feeling I was personally just feeling the heat, and the forest parts
It
felt
was
quite
hot.
humid. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was really tired on this day. We got to Nit Nat Narrows around 4 o'clock, I think it was, or
We were the last
3:30.
ones. Yeah, we
Yeah,
were the
and the last
last
ferry was
ones.
at 4:30. So we had a meal, and we were like the last folks across. We had a chat with Sam, and it was a nice break. And we had some baked potatoes, and we felt rejuvenated by
We
the
had 3
start.
baked potatoes, 2
Pop.
pops.
Yeah.
The chips hadn't arrived yet. We usually had some chips in there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they're still kind of getting ramped up with all the
yeah,
food and stuff.
we got some
So
carbs.
we got our carb load, and it gave us enough energy to soldier on. So we crossed over around 4 o'clock-ish, I guess, 4:15, and then we kept going. And yes, we made the decision to stop for the night at Sioux Quadra Point, just north of it. That's around the kilometer 29 marker, where you pop out under the beach there. And it was like, okay, we're ready to stop, I think, and not go on to Susiat, which is usually also a more crowded campsite, of course. And we thought, okay, let's just stay here. So that's what we did. Mike, you can add any tidbits there, but it was a
Yeah, it's
great
a great
site.
site. It's wild camping, folks. So you can camp anywhere on the West Coast Trail, just so everyone knows. And this is quite clear for everyone because there's been some feedback on our camping choices. Uh, you can camp anywhere on the West Coast Trail from end to end, except for on the IRs, so the reserves. You cannot camp on them. So there's an IR here. We are beyond it on the north side of it. And you can't camp around Chiawat Beach, which is closed. It's been closed for a long time now. Before I started hiking the trail, due to there was wildlife interactions there, and they just parks closed it down. So you can't camp there. So that's around the mid part of the trail in distance, around the 35, 37 kilometer area, just south of the Chiawat River. But you can camp on the beach anywhere else. So if you find a spot that works and you practice LNT, which means you're taking care of your waste properly, and you also know how to store your food properly in the wild. So there's no food caches, no outhouses. You have to manage your waste and also manage your food. You can camp in these locations and just be respectful of them because there's no infrastructure there. There's no food cache. There's no outhouse. You have to manage everything. But yeah, that was a really cool spot. We had some amazing whale viewing off Chuquadra Point here. Actually,
Quadra.
I've been trying to pronounce this forever, but let's try this. I've been working on my pronunciation of that spot, but I've got something for you folks. So this is the West Coast Trail app, and in here shows the sections that we hiked. And also, what's really cool, if you haven't seen this before, if you're trying to learn pronunciations for certain areas, if you click on the area you're in, you'll see First Nation place names. And I wonder if the sound's going to come through. Let's see.
Chuquada.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, so I need to turn it up a bit because I'm actually it's streaming from my phone. This is Carl Edgar at the Nit Nat Crab Shack zone. Brett and him work together
Chuquada.
to put the voiceovers for all the place names. So I thought that was really cool. So this is where we stayed near that night.
Chuquada.
I got to work on that one. It's hard for me, but it's a special way of saying it. So yeah, if you're learning these places, that's a great way to learn it. Okay, let's keep going. We got to get down this trail. So this is now day 3. We're on day 4. Let's get to day 4.
Day
Okay,
4.
so things are
we're
starting to get. Tell us what's happening now on the trail.
Things are getting busier on the trail.
Yeah, we noticed that right away after the Nit Nat, or just in sort of before and after Nit Nat Narrows. We're starting to
Yeah.
meet the people from the other end coming towards us.
Yeah, so it's getting to that hiker population is now distributing across the whole trail, and you're sort of like it's getting busier just to notice that. So day 4, we left the point we were at, and it was a beautiful morning. It was a little bit cloudy, so we're feeling cooler. We're feeling energized. We had a good rest the night before, and we're getting a little stronger too. Every day you get a little stronger. So we were good spirits on day 4. And so what we did is we hiked through the hole in the wall feature. That was great. The tides were in our favor. And then we went over to Susiat Falls for our first morning break and checked out the scene there. And boy,
Breakfast
were we
too.
glad breakfast too. And we were kind of glad we didn't go and stay there the night before, because when we got there was a couple of school groups there, which is the norm in May sometimes, is you get these large school groups. So Susiat Falls was quite busy when we got there. Two massive kind of groups in the north and south end of it on the side of the falls there. So we just had our breakfast bar and for energy, and up the ladder as we went, and kept on going. Yeah, then we got to the next biggest obstacle, I guess, was the Klanawa River. And we did choose to ford this river instead of take the cable car. And yeah, so that was successful. And then there was more beach hiking, of course, and then and at the end of the beach section, you go up and then you start, oh, there I am. Thanks for that. That's me fording the Klanawa River. Um, yeah, I had on my Crocs, my water shoes with the heel strap on, and then I'm carrying my hiking boots up top. So that's how I'm doing it. And it was okay. Mike was watching me, and yeah, it was successful, saved us some time, cooled our feet, and off we went. So yeah, more beach after that. And then at some point we go up into the forest, and quite an easy section at that point. You're getting that nice forest sections above the ocean. And let's see, eventually, what's the big drop then? That's Chickawas, right?
Chickawas coming down there
Yeah,
that's that over the waterfall, and then you come down onto the beach there for the
Chickawas. So the
sort of the
new
final time.
ladders at Chickawas, new ladders,
Yeah,
because it's the big ladder system. I think we all forget that. Oh yeah, this ladder system is huge, right? It's
yeah.
quite long,
The
and
one
it's all
off
brand new.
Klanawa is quite long as well. When you come on to
Yeah.
the cable car or the Ford out of like above Susiat
Yes.
there, you're getting into some longer ladders at the north end. The longest is actually at the Pachina Bay inland section from the trailhead. But the one at Klanawa South and this Chikawas set around the bridge is quite long as well. But
Yeah.
they're brand new, so the edges are super sharp and grippy, and you know that
Yeah.
the brand new ones aren't gonna rot under your feet.
Yeah. No, it feels very sturdy and
Yeah, very
safe.
sturdy.
It's
Yeah,
just they are big.
tall.
Tall.
Yeah,
So anyway, that drops you down onto the beach, which yeah, and then you have a
and
choice to make there. It's at that point you can go inland, or you can continue along the beach to Darling River. And we had some tide that it was good for us, so we kept along the beach section.
yeah, we should chat.
And
Let me
yeah,
just jump in and chat about that tide section. So in the app and on the West Coast Trail map, just so you know, this is important to know. So between Susia and Darling, which is what it's showing our route was here, so Chikawas and Darling, it says it's passable below 2.7 meters at certain times. So that's this section here. Now there's an inland route that goes around it. There's two pinch points along here around Orange Juice Creek. There's some cliffs in there, and there's another set of cliffs just up around this point here. Over the last several years, the beach has changed significantly, and there's been a ton of new materials gotten pushed up in here. So I'll just show you back here. A ton of new materials got pushed up in here. So we were on a almost 3 meter tide coming through there, so well above the cutoff. But I know from previous years that it's passable. So just so you're aware, the charts and the apps and the maps, they can't account. They just can't. It's impossible to account for the seasonal variations of this beach transformation. So the soft material, so that would be sand, gravel, pebbles, little boulder rocks, so like cobbles, we'll call them, driftwood. All that material gets pushed up and down and around uh, throughout the winter, especially, and even during big storms in the summer. So these sections can change, and it was very much passable. We had meters of not distance horizontally, but vertical distance. So it would have been like a 5 meter plus tide at the pinch points, plus a swell. And then even then, you could still walk along the foreshore here, and the foreshore is like above the tide line against the forest. So I just point that out just so that you're aware that even on the spots when you get to where it says it might be clear, it may not be clear. So the opposite thing can happen. So like when you're going around Owen Point, and it says that it's passable at 1.8 on the map and the app, that if there is some type of change in the ocean, so like a storm surge, a big swell that's hitting just right, it can make that much higher. So you have to have some situational awareness while you're out there and look and use your eyes and feel it and make sure it's safe before you start going into these areas. So some folks were asking, how did we get through there on above it? Well, it was quite easy, and there was a ton of extra space in there. We had lots of room. But you get the option if you like hiking on the beach, especially after you've hiked the trail for 4 days. You can hike the beach. Maybe you like hiking the forest, even if it's passable on the beach. You opt for the forest because it just feels easier on your feet. So total personal decisions made there, and yeah, it was an easy pass. Just so everyone
And as
knows.
you say too, some tidal problems are pinch points where you walk in the terrain, you look at it, and you either can go or not go. But some tidal problems come in behind you and trap
Mm-hmm.
you, and that's more serious. So you have to be really careful. So this was
Yeah,
more
like
just
Owen.
walk, yeah, Owen area, beach access A and
Cribs.
B, that whole
Cribs
area.
can, because it's so flat and it's got the lagoon kind of dip in the back, it can get filled up in behind you, and then you're walking at Cribs, kind of right around the cutoff point
Yeah,
between Carmana and Cribs, and you got all of a sudden you're surrounded by like water. It's not super deep, but it's enough to make you think and you probably get your feet wet too. So hopefully there's no big waves coming in. But just think
yeah.
about that, folks, that there's more to the planning process. Like when you're in the field, you need to actually think about where you're going and what you're doing when you can actually see it and analyze the weather, and make risk assessments as you're out there. It's not just as simple as looking at a map and looking at the tide chart. When you're in the field, you got to take note of what's happening around you. So, pro tip right there, folks. Okay, let's keep going, Lara. Let's finish this off, and then we're gonna get to Q&A.
Yeah.
This is
So anyway,
fun.
we got to Darling, and we said Darling or Michigan, right? That's the age old. And we're like, oh, let's stay at Darling. I'd never stayed at Darling. I'd never camped at Darling, so we decided to camp at Darling because the tides would be good in the morning early. We'll just clear that section right off the bat. So that was our choice, Darling Creek, Darling River,
Yeah,
excuse me.
Darling River was awesome.
Yeah.
So we had a really nice campsite there. We got in earlier that day. Look at our
Yeah.
time on day 4. Sorry, it's much faster. So we're going
Yeah.
from 8.5 hours to 10 hours to 9 hours to 6 hours. So that's
We're just
3 hours
improving
early.
every day.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got there in the early afternoon. It was the first time we could sit around camp and relax. We also got choice of the choice
Yeah.
campsite. And if folks know how to get into my trip reports and things, which you do if you go to our website and eventually these get loaded up there, you can find out exactly where we camp. So premium campsite at Darling, and then I'm looking out of our campsite relaxing, and I see this big group of people coming from Michigan. And I said, Lara, I think we're gonna get another group in here. And sure enough, another school group showed up of 18 plus.
Yeah.
Some other folks showed up. So they took the main camp, which is typical on the trail. Most hikers, especially if you're new, will congregate around what I call downtown, which is where the food cache is, the outhouse. And it's just, if you're new to wilderness backpacking on the coast, especially, it just typically feels safer because you're around more people but you're in close quarters. You might be, you're going to see your neighbor when you open up your vestibule. Whereas we're on the rural areas of the campgrounds, which are on either end of them typically, if you know where to look and you do some exploring, you can find some pretty choice spots. So another pro tip there for folks that are watching. So yeah, let's finish this off. Day 5. So we
Finish it
ended
off
up
day
doing
5. We're all
day
excited.
5.
We're rested. We're fed. We're like, okay, let's do it. So yeah, low tide, easy, couple K there to Michigan. Sorry, we cried to ford Darling River, not a problem at all.
Easy
Just went,
forwards.
yeah, easy
So
forward.
dry. The creeks are there, but they're stepping stones across.
Yeah, so we just did the
Dry
stepstones.
feet.
and then did the kind of the shelf, and that section was really nice. And we saw a black bear along there. It was our bear sighting. It was a wonderful thing to see because there was probably the first people walking across there that time.
That's why I think we saw it as well, because it was so early in the morning.
Yeah,
Here, I'll just bring up that.
I think we left at 7.
Yeah, we left early, 7 o'clock, and then this was the bear guy that we saw. So
Yeah.
there's the bear there. It was like a smaller bear, younger, and he was super curious of us. He watched us the whole time. So he was on the edge of the beach in the intertidal zone where the green meets the rock there, and he watched us go by. We gave him lots of space. He didn't show us any signs of aggravation. Like the one thing I did notice just watching the video in the last day is that he did lick his chops right when he got up on the log there, which is kind of like he was probably feeling that we were in a space because he was feeding out there on his own for we don't know how many hours, and then we were the first to come across, and he had to move. And as soon as we went by, we gave him lots of space and got by us, took a few photos and videos. And then I looked back, and he was, already back on the beach where he was. So he was definitely concerned about us and watched us, but we didn't feel that we disturbed him more than we, needed to. Like we tried to do our best to get out of his feeding area, and we never felt threatened that he was going to be feeding on us, though. So just be aware that the bears out there, they're black bears. Most of them are quite docile that I've encountered over the decades that I've been guiding on the coastlines and viewing black bears, hundreds of them in different environments on the coast. And this guy was like, he was, doing his thing as we went by, but he was definitely, he was curious. Let's call it curious. I'm not sure if he was concerned, but he's curious. But I just
Yeah.
noticed when he stuck his tongue out at us at the end there. That's the end of the video. That's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
We gave him a wide berth. We
Yeah,
went,
we gave him
we
a
went on
wide
the
berth.
shelf, and yeah.
Okay, then
So
we
that
finished
was
it
great.
off.
Yeah,
We
and I
got,
think good news, Michigan. So we got to Michigan,
yeah,
chatted with the people there, and good news at the Michigan. There's a big mud hole at the Michigan. Those who've did it last year will remember it, and they've
yeah, it's
have
fixed.
nice, beautiful boardwalk. It's all fixed there, so there's no more with the rope and the mud and the clay. That's not happening anymore. You can just
Yeah,
walk across
it's
that.
great.
Yeah, that was wonderful. And then it's like the easy as we know for a section to Pachina Bay, relatively easy, fast.
Look
We
at our
skipped
time on
the
day 5.
we skipped the seals, sea lions, sorry, this time because we've done that before. We heard them, and that was it. Lots of birds in there, of course, ravens, eagles, all that stuff, and that was a good day. Yeah, we got out pretty good.
Yeah, we were 4 hours and 23 minutes from Darling. And again, the odometer on the watch worked really well for this section because there's a lot of coastal and then inland. It's quite clear on, it's like an old road grade that you're hiking on through here. Yeah, I got pretty good accuracy on my distance. I did measure many of the new mileposts. So there's the same old posts. They've moved a couple very little distance, but it's been redone with new markers, the whole trail. You'll see them out there. So each of the 3 nations or bands have their own signs for 25-kilometer sections, and you'll notice those when you're out there. So there's brand new trail marker signs, and I was measuring them, and they were like 100 or 101 between each of them. So, and that's using my consumer technology. So I'm pretty happy with our distance of 75 kilometers still to this day. It's a 75-kilometer trail. Yes, we finished off. We got there early, and then we got chips and pop at the Pachina Bay Campground store, and we got toonies for the shower. And we noticed that they're building brand new showers, which are going to be really nice once they're finished. The ones that we are using are the older ones, so I highly recommend checking out the showers if you have time before your 1:45 shuttle. We had 2 full hours, so we hung out, met up with the friends that we'd been seeing at camp to camp along the trail, and then we got our shuttle back, and it was a smooth cruise all the way back to Gordon River, and that was it. We were done, and then drove back to Victoria.
Yep.
So that's the trip, folks. That's the trip report. We are now going to go into a chatter time, and we're going to see if there's still anybody there because I haven't looked for a while. Right on. We still got 26 on Facebook, and we've got 15 now on YouTube. So welcome, everybody. This is Mike Blake and MB Guiding with my partner, Lara Campbell, who I hiked with last week. And we are just been going through our trip report from May 1st to 5th, the first time that we've ever hiked the trail in 4 nights, 5 days. And the 5th time that we've hiked it together, Lara's 6th time, and I'm not sure how many times I've hiked it, but I'm working on my new log. I have some tool that I'm using that collects all the data and trying to figure it out for me and tell me how many times I've hiked the West Coast Trail. But it's been a few times for sure. So yeah, we are now going to do a Q&A. So this is your chance. Hey, Switch, welcome on Facebook. Welcome back. Awesome. Hey, Zane on YouTube, welcome. Yeah, it's Q&A time. So thanks for being patient and letting us go through the trip report. We are going to do Q&A, and I'm just going to set some things up here. So this is a really good opportunity to ask Lara questions because she's online here, and you'll get a different perspective than me, which you'll see here all the time. So if you're wondering what Lara uses on her trip as far as gear, how to make the pack lighter. Oh, look at that. We've got a comment right here. Yeah, so this is an opportunity, Q&A. We're going to do this. We went a little over with our trip report. I'm just looking at the time. We'll probably go over today, folks. We usually do an hour session, but we'll go over because we went on and on about our trip. So we'll do Q&A, and then we'll do the giveaway for folks that got to go, and then we'll continue the Q&A, and we'll go to 7:30 Pacific time. So we'll do 10-15 minutes Q&A, then I'll do the giveaway, and then we'll do more Q&A. That way everybody gets their questions in. Okay, Lara, so here's your first question from Mary Beth Walsh on YouTube is asking, oh, that came out really big. Let me just fix that. Wasn't expecting that. I'm gonna make it smaller. Ooh. I can just move this over like this. Wow, it got really big.
It's quite magnified.
Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Oh, it went on the other screen. Just give me a sec. Let me fix this. So this is the technical stuff that we run into sometimes. Oh, that's way too small. Okay, that's more reasonable. You know what I want to do? I want to bring this. Why is it so long on that one side? This is me learning how to use a computer. See how it's so long over there? It goes right off the screen. Okay, there we go. Now I have to make it bigger. Hey, little live. There, I can center it too. Okay, let's do Q&A. Let's just see here. Okay, so Mary Beth Walsh is asking, Lara would love to hear how you made your pack lighter.
Yes. I think the short answer would be is over time I've optimized my gear, but one tool that is I think everyone should do is weigh everything that you're putting in your pack and your pack itself. So I used Mike has a program, it's called Lighter Pack. It's like a little online app. But you don't need to use that. You can just, make a spreadsheet up and that sort of thing. But literally weigh every single item that you think you need to take and do it kind of early, like a long time before your trip. Like kind of start gathering all your stuff, start making lists, start weighing everything out. And then that will tell you really quickly how overloaded you are. When you're also in this planning phase, you want to see who else is in your group and maybe you're having group gear you can share, like you're not taking the whole tent, you're taking part of the tent, for example. So these are ways to make things lighter. I don't take a lot of clothing. I'm using I had 2 t-shirts the entire week. I had socks I use over 2 days. I have the same jacket for every day. I double up on things. Like I'm just not taking a lot of things. I've really minimized my toiletry kit over the years too. I used to bring a lot of stuff and I don't use it. So it just takes practice, but I think you don't want that surprise right on the final day before you hit the trail. So weigh everything and think about it. Do I really need this?
That's a great segue into Julia's question on Facebook asking what your pack weight was, your total pack weight.
Yes, let me see if I can let me get that. It was about 25 pounds, I think, including food.
Great. That's a great segue into Tanya's question from Facebook saying that she's hiking in August for the first time. Her pack without clothes and food is 21.4 pounds. What is a good weight for someone who's 5 feet tall?
I
So
mean,
yeah, that's about
I
what you
think,
had, right?
yeah, but
Plus
mine
food.
was
So
25 with food.
yeah, there you go.
This question is without clothes and food.
Yeah, so you want to go probably a bit lighter than if you want 25 with food, so a bit under 21.4. The food weight's going to be probably about a pound to a pound and a half if you do dehydrated per day.
Pounded it, yeah. And you're asking a good weight for someone who's 5 feet tall. I think it's not like this height or this gets this weight. It's like get it as light as you can. Like just be aggressively get it down. Like I think food is something people can overpack, quite honestly. I've found it's a for I'm 5'6", so and it's like I take about a pound of food a day and it's dehydrated food and bars, that kind of stuff, and granola. So it's dry. It's nothing watery in there. And more than that is just too much food. You can actually you can take too much. You can. And there's also opportunities to buy food at the crab shack. So you take that into account. And my clothing was actually one of the highest weighted things I had. I think it was about clothing weighs a lot because you're weighing like your hiking boots in there, right? And your gaiters and other everything, your jackets. My clothes were about 9 pounds of my weight, which is, but you're wearing some of that. So it's not on your back. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't think like, oh, I'm this height, I need like, and then I have this much weight I can go up to. Just try to get it as light as you
Lighter.
can. Yeah,
Lighter is
lighter. Just
better.
think lighter. Go over your list over and over and over. Do I really need this? Do I really need this? Take it away. You don't need a book, you know, for like, you don't need a paper book, for example, that stuff. No, I don't have that. I don't, there's no, there's nothing luxurious coming along. I didn't even bring a chair. I sat on the logs. So
Okay, well,
Mike
that was
made
a
fun of me.
question that just come up here from Julia. So let's put that debate out there. So
Uh,
Julia is also asking on Facebook, and then we're going to move on to some other questions pretty quick here because I see a
uh,
bunch of new ones that just come
oh
up.
my gosh.
Julia is saying, is it worth bringing a Helionox chair? So
No.
your answer is no, and my answer is yes. So it depends on the person and your style of hiking, but for me, it's mandatory. Whereas for Lara, she's totally happy with her non-chair setup, and it's lighter for her pack.
In
So,
fact, Mike even brought his chair and he set it up and he said, do you want to sit in it? And I said, no.
but I sat in it a lot, and
I'm
I
not
also
sitting
use
in
it
your
for
chair.
organizing. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It's actually
Okay, let's
useful and I
keep
have brought
going.
it, but it is something, it's another thing, right?
Yeah,
So
it's another thing. So I'm just gonna blast through a few questions here just so we can get them out, the top ones that
lightning
just
round.
people have been waiting, and then we'll do a
Yes.
giveaway, and then we'll go back into Q&A.
Okay.
So Clinton on Facebook's asking any rodents getting into food stores. Not on our trip. We had no issues with rodents, except we saw lots of mice at
Camper Bay,
Camper Bay. There was a
crawling
lot
with
of mice
mice,
visible. We were the first
crawling.
hikers in there the season, and there was a lot of mice. So do not leave anything in your tent. They will chew right through it. Okay. So let's go down here. We're gonna do Cameron on YouTube debating between Crocs and Birkenstock slides. Asking, I think, Lara, why you chose Crocs.
Crocs
They
are
seem
very
bulky.
light. They're very lightweight though, and they have a strap at the back, and they're good in the water. So you can double them as water shoes and camp shoes. The only thing that Crocs are the problem is there's holes in the Crocs, of course, right? So if you're on a pebble beach,
Yeah,
those little pebbles, they get into your shoes, and it's a real pain.
yeah.
I
And
don't know
sand
what
gets into
Birkenstock
any shoe.
slides are. I don't know what those are. If they're just regular Birks with open toe and stuff, there's going to be sand and stuff in there as well. But you want something secure that you can double
Yeah.
as a water shoe, I would say.
And also, I wouldn't go open toe if you had a choice. I mean, especially if you're new to hiking on the coast, if you're like an expert coastal hiker and you can hike the whole trail barefoot, which some people do, they're gonna go with no shoes. So that's an extreme. But then there's folks that go with sandals that are like really avid through hikers and they have little shoes and they know how to walk around camp so they don't cut themselves. But no, there's lots of sharp stuff on the beach. So there's shells and rock and all sorts of fun stuff that you're gonna step slivers from the driftwood. I go closed toe. But yeah, anything's gonna get sand and pebbles in it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Bruce, yes, we will share a menu in my gear list, so I'll add that into the comments. So you can click on through to my menu. So yeah, I'll make sure I do that. And then we got one here from Sarah. Did we use a footprint for our tent? Sarah on Facebook? Yes. The reason was that I like to keep my tent bottom clean, so it's easier to put away in the bag. And if it's wet or muddy or sandy and it gets wet under the bottom of the footprint, I can shake it out separately. The tent is clean. Plus, it extends the longevity of my tent if I want to resell it. So that's the reason why I do that. Oh, here's Brett. Brett Morrow, welcome. West Coast Trail app developer has a question. How is the new full page map on the trail? Ooh, let's show people that. How is the new full page map on the trail? You were one of the first to try it in the wild. Always a little unnerving to release something to public that I haven't personally field tested. This is incredible, folks. So I was playing with this for the whole trip. This is the new big map, we're calling it. And the big map is awesome. So in the app, there's a new button at the bottom, and it's a big map button. You can see it, the yellow. Click on it, and it shows you your itinerary where you are, where all the campsites are, and it shows you all the terrain, plus all these cool little pop-up features where water is. It gives you, shows you the direct links to the camp layouts, the inland versus ocean or coastal routes, the ladder details. So if you really want to know how many rungs are on a ladder and how high it is, just click on there. It is amazing, Brett. So thank you for that. And we're having a lot of fun with it. And I can't wait to try it 4 more times this year.
And it shows your location on the map on the.
That's right. If I were to press the target button on the bottom right there, which I won't do now because I'm not on it, it'll give the GPS location. So you always know where you are on the map, which is amazing. And then you have all that data. And yeah, this is
fun.
like the new thing for sure on the app that I am most excited about. So thanks, Brett. That's awesome. Okay, let's keep her going here, and then we'll do the giveaway. So I'm going to do two more short questions, and then we'll do the giveaway for people that have to go, because we said we'd do it before the end of the live stream, which is usually at around 7. What are 2 items that you would recommend that might not be thought of? Ooh, that's so personal. It really depends on what you're into while you're out there. So me personally, I take lots of videos and photos. And what about you, Lara? What are 2 items that you brought that most people might not think of? I'm thinking like mics for my video, just so I have really good sound. Yeah, like I might bring bird apps, so like
I would
multiples
say
of them, things
or
like that to learn the birds.
Books on your phone. If you do say Kindle, make sure you have something. Then you can use if you bring your phone, then you don't have to bring a book, right? You can make sure you've loaded that on there. I'm trying to think.
Candy.
Yeah, just food that you like to eat. Like sometimes people eat what they think
Food
they
you like
should
to
eat.
Absolutely.
Something you bring it something you like, and it's really enjoyable then at camp after a day. So yeah, make sure you're having things you
You
like
know
to
what I
have.
do, which helps to figure it out? So I'm doing multiple trips, and every time I go on a trip, I have a list, and I take the stuff that's on the list, and it's dependent on the trip type, distance, duration, the group I'm with, what our objectives are, what the weather conditions are. Then afterwards, when I get home, I put out all my stuff on the table, and I have one side of the table that has all the things I used and the other side of the things I didn't use. Then I wonder why I didn't use those things, and I go through them all. And then at the same time, I'm making notes in the field of, oh, darn, I should have had that in my pack. So then I can keep improving my kit depending on the different trips, because it changes for every trip. So that's a good way. Just keep track of what you use and don't use. And if it's something like emergency items that you didn't use, but you should have them anyway, like the 10 essentials, and that's good. It's okay. You can bring it again. But things that we didn't bring that wouldn't have used is rain pants. It didn't rain at all. There was no rain in the forecast, so we saved 250 grams each right there. We didn't bring umbrellas. We didn't bring an extra tarp because we analyzed the weather forecast before we went out in the field. We went with lightest kit, shorts, summer wear, hats, sunglasses, sunscreen. I use short shoes, short trail shoes and shorty gaiters. Lara prefers to use her super lightweight higher shoe with her taller gaiter. So yeah, just figure
Oh,
out
I
what
thought of
works for you.
something. I thought of
Oh,
something.
good.
Gloves for the ladders.
Oh yeah, bring
This
those
is
for sure.
something that we don't see a lot of people using.
I
It's
highly recommend those.
highly recommend. So I found some they're called Gorilla Grip. Gorilla Grip. I got them at Home Depot, a couple bucks a pair, like just something a little grippy that fit well, because the ladders are dirty. Like your hands will just get covered in mud, and it's filthy, and it just helps just keep everything a little bit cleaner. just in general, and it just feels more secure when you're holding the rungs. And I just don't see people using gloves. So it's just something that I don't think people think of because it's like summer. Why do I need gloves? But it's just, I think, a really useful light option just to stick in your pocket and keep your hands clean, right?
Highly recommend gloves for all those reasons. I wear a super lightweight hiking glove, which is also a sun glove, all the time while I'm hiking to protect my hands from all the different things, particularly from putting mud in my mouth, which I'm adverse to. So, and then when I get to the ladder, I put my new Costco glove that I just found. It's a box of 14. I think they work out to be about $2 per pair, and they're amazing, rubber, grippy. They go over my hiking glove and they grip the ladders like nothing I've ever had before. Super cheap, super efficient, and that is awesome. So yeah, highly
I'll just add
recommend.
in one mistake I made with the ladder gloves. This is like, I realized this on the first steps,
That's a
like,
good one.
because I had two pairs of these gloves. Like I bought a whole bunch because I was going with my friend and I had them in my gear bin. I grabbed two gloves and put them in my kit. And then I'm like literally at the Gordon River ladder and I'm putting on my gloves and I realize I have two right hand gloves.
That
And
was
so that
funny.
is not
Yeah.
helpful. So then I had one glove with the grip and the other one was upside down and at least kept my hand clean. But yeah, so make sure you have two gloves, different hands. Yeah, just silly. But
Okay,
anyway,
let's
I
do
survived.
the giveaway for folks that are here and they stuck it out, and it's fair to do it now, and then we'll go back into Q&A until 7:30. So I'm just going to show you folks how to do the giveaway. So these are the prizes. So we've got the Blisters and Bliss. So I'm just going to bring up their websites here. We've got Blisters and Bliss. There you go. So this is the famous Blisters and Bliss guidebook. So there's going to be one of each of those in the prize package. We've also got Brett Marl, who's on here right now, Pro 2026 Pass. So West Coast Trail Pass for 2026 for the app. We're going to give away some of those. And then we've also got the West Coast Trail Experience and Transport from Valerie Burton, your administrator of not just the West Coast Trail group, but also the North Coast Trail group and Wanda Fuka Trail group. And these are her patches that her and Jesse Benton had made. And so they designed them. And so these have been around. These are famous. So we're going to throw in some of those. And then we've also got for the YouTube viewers, we're going to give away one of these West Coast Trail Slug t-shirts. Those were also designed by Valerie and Co. So yeah, this is part of the prize package, folks. So you'll want to stick around till now because I'm going to tell you how to win it. So what you got to do is you got to go to our website, mbguiding.ca, and you're going to go to the contact page. So you can either get to it by clicking on the menu here and pressing contact, and then you're going to go to this, scroll down here and put in your first name and last name and your email address, and then the subject is live stream giveaway. So just type in live stream giveaway, then I can find it, I can search for it in my emails. Yeah, that makes it really easy for me. So first name, last name, your email address to get a hold of you. The subject is live stream giveaway. And then in the message, say hello or ask a question. And if you're on YouTube and you want to win the YouTube prize, put your YouTube handle in there because most people's YouTube handle have nothing to do with their name and I have to cross check them. So make sure you put your YouTube handle in here if you want to win the t-shirt. And then agree to receive communications from me and press send, and then I'll get your entry. So it's easy as that. Just know that you can unsubscribe because when you do this, you will be on our list. If you don't like to be on our list, then you just unsubscribe after you win the prize, or you don't win and you don't want to be on the list. You can easily unsubscribe. So just know you can do that. So first name, last name, email, subject line is live stream giveaway. In the message, say hello, ask a question, and put your YouTube handle if you want to win the YouTube. That's it. So good luck, folks. What's going to happen is I'm going to draw the names out from. Oh, did we lose Lara? Where did Lara go? There she is. Okay, so she's back. Yay. I'm going to draw the names tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a random comment picker. And so all the people that went in the chat, so you said hello in the chat or you asked a question in the chat, they're going to be in the picker. So that'll generate a random number. It works on a spreadsheet. And then bada bing, bada boom, somebody wins. All right. And if you're watching the replay, you have until, let's give them a little extra. We'll do the draw tomorrow, 24 hours. So like 7:30 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, which is going to be Saturday, May the 9th. All right. You want to do some more questions for these folks?
Let's do it.
Okay, there seems to be a few more people in here. Uh, Bruce on YouTube is asking, is cell service strong for the length of the trail? Yeah, it's pretty good. US towers on all the beaches north of, say, Owen Point, and then around Thrasher on the south end, you're going to get the Canadian tower there. There's a Rogers tower, which I've been getting good reception off. And then I get really good reception off the T-Mobile and AT&T and Verizon towers. My device just switches automatically. I have a US Canadian plan, so just make sure your plan works for what you're doing. So I use my phone out there because I'm working. But yeah, it does. You get good reception on the beaches, not in the forest or in the canyons. Hey Lisa on Facebook, welcome. Awesome. So we got some more folks that have come on trips with us joining here right now. Todd's okay. This is a good question for both of us. So this Lara can answer this one first. Without all the video stuff, so Lara didn't have any video stuff. How big a battery storage is recommended for watch, cell, inReach, and headlamp? So that's the exact amount of devices that Lara had. So what did you bring, and what worked for you in that timeline?
Okay, so I had an older BioLite, I think it's called, right? Is that the right brand, Mike? The older ones we
Yeah,
had?
BioLite.
Okay, so I had an older one of those. It was small, the smallest one. And then I also had two newer battery chargers, the Night Core. So not the large ones, but I'm sorry, I don't know the sizes, but two of the small black brick ones. And I only used, like I started with the older ones to start charging, and I only used that plus one of the Night Core. So I had a full Night Core on day 5, and I shared it with Mike because he was out of power.
Too
So
many videos.
yeah, so again, though, I'm keeping my phone on airplane mode most of the time. I'm only using it as a camera, and I'll check in with my mom at the end of the day or whatnot, a few texts, but the phone is not on all day pinging cell towers. So I do that to make sure. And I didn't have to recharge my headlamp in that time, 5 days. It didn't use it very much, right? It wasn't on. We had a few little smaller lights in the tent that we used. So the night lamp did not get used too much. So that's it. Just a couple of those power blocks. If you
Yeah,
don't,
so I think you're running
right?
probably about 20,000, or do you have two power blocks total? Two,
3, but I
three.
only
So
use 2.
30,000. So you had
And I have an
30,000.
Apple
You only
Watch
used two.
charge as well every day. So my Apple Watch, my phone, and potentially a headlamp. And I have a Garmin InReach as well. I didn't need to charge it though.
Yeah,
It's
they've got
funny
good
that
battery power inside
lasted
them.
5 days. Yeah.
Yeah, mine
So
just charged at the end, and I was using it the whole time, 24/7. It
yeah.
was on the whole time as a beacon. So yeah, that answers Carlene's on Facebook's question as well, about power banks. So I use the power. Oh, I've got it right here. Let's do props. I didn't think I'd do props today. So these are the Nightcore power banks. They're 10,000s. And because I'm
Yeah.
doing a ton of photos, videos, so like 4K videos, I've got wireless mics running. I'm also got the InReach on the whole time because it's for safety and emergency, especially for guided trips. I'm using my phone a lot for doing interpretations, so like listening to birds, reading stuff about history and geography to try to learn more about it. Using the app, so I'm using it all the time. Plus, I'm doing my business in the evening, so I'm doing the trip reports. I'm uploading videos to the internet, so I'm going through 110,000 per night. So I bring one per night. So on this trip, it was 4 nights. So I brought two 10,000s, and then I brought in the 20,000 milliamp hour. So that was, and I kind of pushed it to the limit, knowing that Lara had extra, and then I got to borrow some power. Another option is I could have potentially topped up one of my chargers while we were at the Crab Shack, because they do have a system there. If you don't know about it, ask about it there. Okay, let's keep going with some questions here. Let's do more rapid fire style. We'll just do short answers so everyone can
Lightning
get in here.
rounds.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
some lightning round stuff here. Shoes or hiking boots? Shoes or hiking boots? Here's your for you. You answer and then I'll answer.
Yeah,
This is
definitely
from Lori
personal.
Henderson. Hey, Lori, welcome.
Hi, Lori. Oh, yeah,
Lori's
thanks for the
on.
question.
Lori's asking shoes or hiking boots in this season,
Oh, in this season. Well,
like
yeah,
our
it's kind
trip
of,
that we just did.
yeah. So I use it's called the On brand, Cloud Rocker. I think it's called hiking shoe. It's like a lighter one. They have like one that's really heavy, one for like trekking. Mine's like the day hiking version. They're not really high boots. They are higher than a shoe though. So I would say it's a light hiking boot. That's what I like to wear. A little bit of ankle protection, and a bit stiffer sole because I get my soles of my feet get tired. I wear orthotics and I just like it a little bit extra. So me, it's sort of a light hiking boot, I would call it.
Yeah, and that answers Suzanne's question on Facebook about what brand as well,
Yeah.
and that too. Mary Beth is asking, do you recommend waterproof boots? So yeah, this is depends. For personally, for me, in these conditions, I was wearing trail runners where they're actually a trail shoe, so they're a bit stiffer than a running shoe. They're more of an approach shoe for like walking on rock, to approach for climbing. But they have really good toe rand, so there's really good toe protection. So when you're stubbing on rocks and stumps and things like that, which there's a lot of out there, it protects your toe. But they're short and they have kind of a built-in gaiter. They're quite thin. They're not for heavy pack weight. They're for lightweight pack weight only. And then I put a short gaiter on there, but I got them wet a couple of times and they were dry in an hour or so in the dry conditions we were experiencing. Whereas Lara's shoes were, or her boots were waterproof, but they're super lightweight and
Yeah.
they're really good. So they didn't get water on the inside. And when they got wet, it was just on the outside and her feet stayed dry.
Yeah.
And
I
then they
just checked
dried
my
off
brand
too.
again. Yeah, it's On Cloud Walker.
On Cloudwalker. Yeah, so the
Yeah.
waterproof versus
Waterproof.
non-waterproof depends on your style of hiking and the conditions that you're going to be going into. That's the big decision maker there. I wrote an
Yeah.
article with the help of a bot that figured it out and used all the data from the West Coast Trail group along with the Parks Canada data and all my data and wrote up a report. So if anybody wants that on how to choose shoes for the West Coast Trail or boots, just send me a message. Okay, let's go keep going through here. We're going to do 15 minutes of Q&A. Okay, so we've got another question in here from Nick. Hey, Nick on YouTube. Did you bring a lightweight tarp to cook, hang out under, and dry clothes out overnight if rain rolls in? So I always have an emergency tarp on board, whether I'm day hiking or backpacking, and I brought that. It's super lightweight. It's like 250 grams. It's a hyperlight shelter. You can set it up like a tent if you want to, if you have the right rigging for it. I always have that on board. It never came out of the pack once, but just in case it's there, in case there's an emergency. Um, so yeah, we were dry. It was very dry conditions. It was very dry weather. Even when the marine layer came in on day 4 and 5 over top of us, typically that makes a lot of moisture underneath, but it was so dry, the air, that it was, it was filtering the sunlight, which was still giving us UV. But everything was dry. I think our shelter only got moist on one morning from us on the inside. We had both vestibules closed and we had a bit of moisture condensation there. And it was one of those mornings where we got going pretty quick, so we didn't have a chance to dry it out in the sun, which because there was sun out there. But yeah, I always bring a tarp for emergencies, and then if it were raining, it would be super handy dandy to have, definitely. Okay, so let's keep going down here. So we've got shoes or hiking boots. We did that one. We did the power banks. Lara's asking. Oh, this is a good one. Sorry, Elena is asking. Hey, Elena, welcome on Facebook. Yeah, we got lots of folks coming on trips on here with us. This is great. Okay, you got a good opportunity to ask Lara questions, folks, about her stuff. So this one is for you, Lara. This is from Alina. What do you bring for toiletries?
Sure. Well, I got my list up here. Let's see. I have it by section. So for toiletries, I do have some cleansing wipes. I use the Sea to Summit Wilderness wipe. So some of those, like 1 or 2 per day. I have a little tiny deodorant, a mini one, hand sanitizer, 2 or 3 bottles of that. I do bring a roll of toilet paper, um, toothpaste, toothbrush, a very lightweight towel. Does that count as a toiletry? Probably not. A foot
Hygiene kit.
glide.
You're yeah.
Yeah, a foot glide, like a body glide kind of thing, anti-blister balm. just some pads, a few of those liner pads, and some tissue for the nose. I think that's about it. Oh, and some toothpicks. Sorry. Yeah. So very, very simple. And I have contact lenses I have to manage as well. So I have to bring lenses and I don't have cleaners and stuff, but I do have to bring an eye kit for putting those in every single day. So it's pretty basic. Like I'm not bringing, oh, and I brought a little bit of soap, a bit of soap. But I didn't use it on trail this time. It sort of depends if you're going to be able to swim in the ocean and wash. And it was just not timing wise. I didn't really have all that going on this trip, but a little bit of that Sea to Summit soap. That's it. Very, eyes,
Simple.
teeth. Yeah. Some tissue, toilet paper, hand sanitizer. Yeah.
Yeah, so toilet paper, definitely bring it because there isn't any out there except at the Crab Shack if when it's in stock. So that's something to
Yeah.
consider. I brought half a Costco roll, which are quite large if people shop for those big bulky rolls, and I just made it through because it was a short trip. For a longer
I
trip,
had a
I definitely bring
full
a whole
Costco
roll.
roll,
You got a
one
full
Costco.
roll. Well, that
I
was good
didn't
in
use
case
all
I
the,
ran out.
yeah. I guess you'd have to ask me for some. Yeah.
Carlene's mentioning that the power bank is teeny. Yeah, it's really slim. And that's the last year's model. The new one's even more svelte. Mary Beth on YouTube is wanting data on the shoes. Yeah, I'll send you that or send me a note and just send me a message through YouTube there or comment in the video on YouTube. Julia's asking, did we take bug spray? Let her know what our plan was with that.
Yes. How I took it though, so a bottle of bug spray is heavy, right? It's like 30 mils or whatnot, and you're bringing all this liquid. So we use a product called let's see, it's like a
Ben's.
Ben's, that's right, Ben's, and it comes in little pouches, very small. And I just brought three of them and actually used it too. There was one of the camps where the bugs were a bit annoying. So yeah, it just comes with a little pre-soaked towelette, right? And you just kind of dab it around and um, throw it around the air and hopefully
It
the
works
bugs.
really well.
Yeah, and it's very light. Like just literally
Yeah.
three of them is all you need, and that's
You
it.
definitely don't need a big bottle or can of
No,
off. Yeah, just
no.
like the wipes work really good because they're super light and you can wipe them on things. So your
Like your
body, I
hat.
don't usually like putting on my skin, but I put on my
Yeah,
outerwear. And then if you don't use the whole cloth, which typically you won't, because they're like moist towelettes, you can put it back in the pouch that it came out of and kind of fold it up
yeah.
and use it later again. So they're quite efficient way of doing bug
It's a great thing
repelling.
to bring. Yeah, and also the
Absolutely.
there's a lot of breeze at the beach, so it's not bugs aren't as big a deal usually, like the mountains for sure, bug spray, but yeah, so I'd say these little Ben's towelettes work really great.
Yeah, I'd recommend those too. Okay, I'm just scrolling up here and seeing if there's any other questions. Folks, if you have any other questions, we've got just a few more minutes before we wind this down. Going up top here, Stephanie says she sold. Great marketing. I'm not sure what I sold you. I should start an online shop though.
What did we sell? The Ben's?
Depends. Oh, maybe when I was talking about Brett's app.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
if
sure,
you haven't
yeah.
checked out the app, folks, definitely go check it out. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, this looks good. We covered a lot of stuff here, I think. We'll share the menu, Bruce. I mentioned that. That'll go in the notes eventually. Oh, this is a great question from Carlene that came up. So this is great. Carlene on Facebook's asking, do you recommend bear spray for everyone in our group or just one or none? Okay, so there is a recommendation. It comes directly from Parks Canada. So let's go to their website here. So if you go to the parkscanada.ca and it's the West Coast Trail Hike of a Lifetime website, just Google that and you'll get here. They always have important notices at the top. So it talks about your admission being free between June 19th and September 7th. So you don't need a national park pass. And you also get 25% off your backpacking permit. So that'll all cut back on the cost of, because it is a bit pricey trip. This just got added, the temporary fire ban. So that's new. These are important notices where you see these exclamation marks, the orange ones. The Carmana Point and Pachina Point light stations are closed to the public. So that happened last year. And then this one on bear spray, and this one's been up since last year too. Due to the increase in reports of human-wildlife interactions on the West Coast Trail, Parks Canada strongly recommends that a minimum of one person per group carry bear spray and know how to use it. So there's your answer. Parks Canada, they have a wildlife safety team, and they are in charge of making sure everybody's safe with the animals and making sure the animals are safe with the people. And so they recommend that at least one person in the group has a can and knows how to use it. And I get this question quite often from my guided trip participants: should they bring a can or not? And I say, well, it's up to you. So do you feel more comfortable with carrying a can? I'm following the rules by having one at least in the group, and I have that with me, but it's with me. So if you go off on a walk around camp, or you go further ahead in the group or further behind the group, and you like to feel more comfortable having your own can, you're certainly welcome to bring it, just as long as you know how to deploy it on your own. So that's the answer, at least one, and you're good to go. Hey, you're welcome, Carlene. Yeah, and there's a lot of really great info on that website, folks. If you haven't checked it out, if you're getting ready for this trip, go check it out, because it's got all sorts of planning info on there, and it's really helpful. So this is the official website for the West Coast Trail from Parks Canada. They've done a really good job. And our blog, the West Coast Trail Guide, it pulls a lot of the data, like the stats and data, from that page as well. So it's coming from here, as well as the West Coast Trail app. A lot of the data and information is from, as well, along with other things, is coming from the official land manager resources. So make sure you read all that info before you start your hike, because it's super helpful. All right, well, let's wind this down, Lara. I think we did a good job. We gave them an extra 30-minute bonus, and we've gotten the prize package already, or the giveaway instructions already out, so we can start winding this down. So let's say thanks very much to Lara. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed having and the other part of the operation on board. And if you want Lara to come back, give some thumbs up there. And it looks like we had 43 people still, so that's awesome. Great, thanks folks for hanging out. We're going to do this more often in the style. So this will be the debrief style. So before the season started, before May 1st, we did planning sessions where we were going in detail how to plan the trip. Now we're going in detail on how we did the trip. So hopefully that helps you plan your trips. And yeah, we want to make it fun and safe for you. Okay, so Lara, thanks so much. I'm going to do the I'll get your out. I'll sign you off. So you've been spending a lot of time on the live stream with us. So thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me. Anytime. Bye, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Okay, see you later. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you for dinner.
Pizza party.
Bye for now.
Okay, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to just wind down the live stream now. So yeah, this was part 1 of 5. I'm going to do 5 trips this year. And that was our recon trip. So we're going to keep going with these. The next trip is going to be June 14th to 20th, my first guided trip on the West Coast Trail. But I will be going out to the Nooka Trail on June 1st. So you definitely want to check out our channels, because I'm going to be doing pre-trip planning for the Nooka Trail, the North Coast Trail, and Cape Scott Trail, and then 4 more debriefs off the West Coast Trail. So we're planning out the spring and summer live stream schedule, and would love your feedback, what you'd like to see next. So more trip reports and trail debriefs, Q&A sessions, any guests that you think we should have on here. Share all those ideas in the comments in the chat, and we'll post the upcoming events on our social channels. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and click on the events to get notifications when we go live again. And if you enjoyed this live stream, give it a thumbs up. You can leave a comment if you're keen for more, and also share the replay, share the websites, and share the social channels too. And if you haven't been to mbguiding.ca, head on over there, because that's where you're going to find information about our upcoming trips. And we are almost fully booked for 2026 and already planning for 2027. But we do have limited availability on some trips at the beginning to mid-season, and some at the very end of the season. So just drop me a message anytime if you have any questions about anything that we do over here at MB Guiding. So thanks so much. That's all for now, folks. Have a great week, and hopefully we'll see you out there on the trails. Bye.